Just 48 hours after shocking the world, Seth freaking Rollins opened Monday Night Raw as the new World Heavyweight Champion. With Paul Heyman, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker by his side, Rollins received mixed reactions from the Brooklyn crowd. Heyman, ever the strategist, ran down the chain of events from SummerSlam, where Rollins cashed in Money in the Bank under the guise of a fake injury. After Heyman's recap, Rollins grabbed the mic and made his feelings clear. Rollins took aim at the WWE Universe, blaming them for doubting him and abandoning him when he needed them the most. He also pointed his finger at the WWE locker room, claiming that they had conspired to stop him from doing what he had done, which was to reclaim the title on his own terms. Rollins reminded people that he's always thinking 2 steps ahead of everyone and that there's always a plan B, which seemed like a reference to the days when he turned on his Shield stablemates. He then held his title high and declared it to be a new era, stating this is the vision, which possibly revealed the name of his faction, something fans have been hoping to have confirmed for a while. However, that's when LA Knight hit the arena, gaining a deafening reaction, accusing Rollins of faking an injury to avoid the beating that he had coming his way, and he wasted no time challenging him for his newly won title. Rollins teased the fans with the possibility of a match, only to respond with a cold, unapologetic no, as he then walked out with the rest of his group. However, before Rollins could disappear, Adam Pearce appeared and overruled Rollins' answer and made the match official for tonight. Not only that, but Reed and Breaker were banned from ringside. One interesting thing to consider though, how does Braun Breaker really feel about Seth not cluing him in on the fake injury plot? Over the past week, Paul Heyman has been heavily hyping Breaker as the group's leader, which makes the secrecy even more curious. It's another subtle sign that Braun might eventually break away from the faction, not immediately, but somewhere down the line. It feels inevitable. Meanwhile, PW Insider reports that Breaker's knee injury has significantly improved and he's currently about 90% fit. And while Braun Breaker may still be processing the layers of deception within the faction, the man at the center of it all, Seth Rollins, is finally opening up about how far he went to pull off the ruse of the century. Speaking on the Rich Eisen show, the new World Heavyweight Champion revealed he went all in on the deception to make his SummerSlam cash-in truly shocking. For 3 straight weeks, Rollins stayed committed to the act, using crutches in public and private, even though it left him with sore shoulders and second-guessing himself. I was walking on crutches every day. I went to the gym on crutches, I took my daughter to preschool on crutches, took her to the beach on crutches, went out to dinner with my wife and Montez Ford and Bianca Belair still on crutches, Rollins revealed, laughing about how far he took the ruse. It got to the point where my shoulders were hurting so bad I thought I might need to see a real doctor in Birmingham. The physical toll made him irritable, but Rollins credited his wife Becky Lynch for being patient through it all. I was getting grumpy, man, but my wife, God bless her, she put up with me, he said. However, not everything came easy. Rollins shared that Becky wasn't thrilled about having to lie to her close friends and family. She hated it, she told me. I don't like lying to people I care about, but she went along with it. In the end, the commitment paid off. Rollins managed to fool nearly everyone in the wrestling world, setting up the perfect moment to cash in at SummerSlam and reclaim the World Heavyweight title 10 years after his first legendary heist. What did you think of Seth Rollins' commitment to the ruse? Did it enhance the payoff at SummerSlam? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Brock Lesnar's shocking return at SummerSlam Night 2 wasn't just a jaw-dropping moment for fans, it was also one of WWE's best-kept secrets in recent history. According to Backstage reports, WWE flew Lesnar into New Jersey under the radar the night before the show and kept him hidden all day, shielded from both fans and much of the Backstage crew. Even members of the writing team were kept in the dark. While there had been whispers about a possible surprise, almost no one knew it would be the Beast incarnate. When Lesnar's music hit moments after Rhodes defeated Cena to become the undisputed WWE Champion, the crowd inside MetLife Stadium erupted in disbelief, followed instantly by thunderous chants of "Holy." The secrecy around Lesnar's appearance amplified the impact, making it one of WWE's most buzzworthy moments of the year. Now attention turns to how Lesnar fits into the bigger picture, especially with John Cena's farewell tour approaching its final stretch. That direction became a bit clearer during the SummerSlam press conference, where Paul Triple H Levesque pulled back the curtain. He revealed that Lesnar's return was actually requested by Cena himself. Brock was on the list, Triple H said, referring to the names Cena handed him as part of his retirement tour planning. Everything you've seen so far has been John writing his last chapter, and right now, we're focused on letting him finish his story the way he wants to. However, while the return of Lesnar delivered in the ring, it has triggered backlash outside of it, specifically from the legal team representing Janel Grant in her ongoing lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE. Lesnar, though not a defendant, is named in the complaint regarding serious misconduct allegations. In a statement to Ringside News, a spokesperson for Grant criticized WWE for allowing Lesnar to return while the legal proceedings are still active. For far too long, abuse was allowed to thrive under WWE's leadership, the spokesperson said. Instead of righting this wrong, WWE has done nothing to ensure those responsible are held accountable. This attempt to sweep misconduct under the rug will backfire. The spokesman further added, "We look forward to the full set of facts, including those about Mr. Lesnar, coming out in a court of law where they belong, but in the meantime, we refer you back to Janel Grant's updated complaint, which outlines in detail the abuse she endured by McMahon and others while employed at WWE." In the aftermath of Lesnar's surprise return, screenshots of McMahon's alleged messages to Grant began trending on social media platform X, reigniting public outrage. With Lesnar now back on WWE television, the legal and public relations battle surrounding the lawsuit is poised to escalate further. Do you believe WWE made the right call bringing Lesnar back while his name is still attached to ongoing allegations? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. On Raw, Michael Cole added another layer to the evolving story. He revealed that John Cena is scheduled to appear on the August 8th episode of SmackDown, just days after his brutal street fight loss to Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam. The appearance marks an important next step in Cena's farewell tour, but it also raises new questions about Lesnar's trajectory. Cole also mentioned that WWE President Nick Khan and Triple H had reached out to Brock weeks ago to bring him back to WWE. Of course, that detail is clearly meant to support the on-screen narrative, especially given the real-life secrecy surrounding Lesnar's SummerSlam return. As for when and how WWE actually reached out to Brock and when a deal was finalized, those details remain unclear, with conflicting reports circulating in the media. We will report further once there's more clarity. Still, the line sparked speculation. Will Lesnar appear on SmackDown too? And perhaps more importantly, will WWE finally address his extended absence in storyline terms or continue to let real-life legal tension simmer off-screen? Either way, all eyes will be on Friday night's show. The Women's World Champion Naomi came out on Raw tonight to celebrate her hard-earned victory over Rhea Ripley and Io Sky at SummerSlam and to turn her focus toward her next challenger, whom she mockingly referred to as Stephanie Velcro. But just as she was mid-sentence, WWE abruptly cut away to air footage of Brock Lesnar's shocking return, completely overshadowing the champion's moment. According to PW Torch, Naomi was visibly upset backstage. She reportedly stormed off and threw her championship belt in frustration after the segment. The production team is said to have made the last-minute cut due to timing issues, but Naomi was frustrated that she wasn't informed in advance. Fortunately, cooler heads eventually prevailed. Do you think WWE was wrong to cut off Naomi's championship moment for Brock Lesnar's return? Or was it the right call given the circumstances? Let us know where you stand on this one. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. WWE appears to have entered the multiverse of El Grande Americano this week, with a fourth version of the masked character having made an appearance on Raw. Everything broke down during a match between Dominik Mysterio and Dragon Lee, with the focus eventually taking place on everything outside of the ring during the final stretch. Lee was seemingly set for a win after he landed a double stomp from the top rope, but before he could capitalize, El Grande Americano appeared, and he wasn't alone. The masked wrestler was then followed by another, and then a third version of El Grande Americano. They each interfered at key moments, with one even catching Lee with a kick to the face, which eventually handed the Intercontinental Champion a victory. AJ Styles then appeared after the match and ran off Dirty Dom, taking their feud to the next level as he proved that their issues are far from over after SummerSlam. However, the biggest question mark was over the identity of El Grande Americano number 4. It's widely known that the original version of the character was Chad Gable, but he stepped away due to an injury as the gimmick was then taken on by Ludwig Kaiser. Last week, Pete Dunne appeared under the mask, and now a brand new version has emerged. The fourth El Grande Americano has been confirmed as 28-year-old Tyler Bate, which adds another twist to this mystery as fans wonder what WWE has planned with 4 different versions. The gimmick has been passed on from one to the other, although it is Kaiser who has taken on the main version of the masked character, even appearing as the character for AAA. El Grande Americano is set to challenge for the AAA Mega title at Triple Mania in a huge match that will also feature Dominik Mysterio and Dragon Lee, and fans presume that it'll be Kaiser's version in that bout. Considering the way it's been going, it wouldn't be a surprise to see a fifth El Grande Americano appear next week, as the gimmick has taken on a life of its own, although not everyone is convinced that's a good thing. The character originated as an unexpected random idea for Gable, but it has now evolved to the point of potential parody, losing what initially made it special, with Gable also appearing as himself on shows. So we're asking you, has WWE pushed the El Grande Americano idea too far, or is there still room for this bizarre identity swap storyline to evolve into something bigger? Let us know your thoughts below. While the identity games may have stolen the spotlight earlier in the night, the real story came full circle in the main event, born directly out of that chaotic opening segment. What followed was an intense back-and-forth showdown where neither man held anything back, constantly cutting each other off and narrowly escaping defeat by dodging signature moves at key moments. The match eventually spilled outside of the ring, where the champion decided to expose the concrete floor as he attempted to hit Knight with a stomp to the unforgiving surface. However, before he was able to deliver the devastating blow, CM Punk appeared, bursting through the crowd to blindside his long-term rival and the man who beat him for the title, causing an immediate disqualification. The crowd roared in support of Punk's attack, as the former AEW star was evidently still fuming from the events of SummerSlam. Punk took Rollins into the ring, but he was pulled away by Knight just as he was about to continue the beatdown. Knight might have been saved by Punk in the moment, but he was furious about Punk costing him the World Heavyweight Championship due to the disqualification. The slight moment of conflict between the two babyfaces provided enough time for Breakker and Reed to scurry from the back as they attacked Punk and Knight, turning this into complete chaos. That's when the final twist came in the form of Roman Reigns. The Tribal Chief hit the ring with a huge Superman punch to Reed, as he then dealt with Breakker before hitting the ring to confront his former friend Rollins. However, rather than take on Reigns in the moment, Rollins opted to duck out and run away, leaving Reigns to continue battling his stablemates. While Reigns held his own for a while, the numbers game caught up with him as Rollins dropped his rival once again with a stomp, which was followed by a spear from Breakker and then several brutal tsunamis from Reed, as the show went off the air with one thing being clear: the Vision has taken over. PW Insider previously reported that Reigns is set for some time off now to begin filming his role as Akuma in the upcoming live-action Street Fighter movie this August, and the beatdown will likely be used as the explanation for his absence during that time. Punk's interference made sense and should arguably have come even earlier in the show if the idea was that he was so pissed off about what happened. Why would he sit on it through the entire show? What do you think WWE should do next with the CM Punk-Seth Rollins feud? Should Rollins have a long title run with the Vision leading Raw? And how do LA Knight and Roman Reigns factor into this new main event power struggle? In the women's division, Becky Lynch was met with a brand new challenger in the form of a WWE legend just one day after retaining her women's Intercontinental title against Lyra Valkyria. Lynch had beat her recent rival following some accidental help from Bayley, with the stipulation determining that Valkyria cannot have another title shot as long as Lynch is the champion. But that's opened up opportunities for others, and Nikki Bella took it with both hands. Lynch started out the segment by making it clear that now Lyra is gone and she will not get further opportunities, adding that she's the gatekeeper of the division. The WWE Hall of Famer hit the ring to address the man and immediately reflected on how she felt that she'd left the women's division in good hands when she'd walked away from the business. She claimed Lynch has turned out to be such a disappointment, as rather than raising a generation, she is handpicking them, clearly not being impressed by what she's done in recent times. Nikki questioned why Lynch opted to return, asking her if Hollywood wasn't what she expected, but Lynch then took a personal shot by admitting that at least she had a role in Happy Gilmore 2, unlike Nikki, whose part was cut, which was a legitimate situation. Nikki maintained a personal tone by saying that Lynch is like her husband, except that people buy his nonsense. However, the champion made it clear not to talk about her hot husband, stating that they're the best wrestling couple of all time. Lynch admitted that Nikki and her fiancé used to have that title, but you can't see him anymore, which was an obvious nod to her failed relationship with John Cena. Obviously, this comment alone got a major reaction from the crowd. Nikki then got down to business and demanded a title shot, which got her a huge yes chant and a nod to her brother-in-law, which was strange to see on WWE television after a while, but the man simply responded with a sucker punch as she escaped the ring. Was the Cena jab scripted, or did both women decide to throw caution to the wind and go off script? What do you think really happened? Let us know in the comments below. Fans witnessed yet another brutal chapter in the Sheamus vs. Rusev rivalry this week, arguably the most chaotic so far. The fight spilled outside the ring, where Sheamus landed the 10 beats of the Bodhrán, but both men were so consumed with hurting each other that they got counted out in an unsatisfying finish. Even after the bell, the brawl continued as they broke free from officials, proving this feud is far from over. While not as technically crisp as their earlier bouts, this one was all about raw aggression and escalation, and the eventual payoff could be huge. Do you think Rusev vs. Sheamus at Clash in Paris needs a stipulation to truly settle the score, or should they keep it straight one-on-one? Let us know what kind of match you think fits this rivalry best. Karrion Kross and Scarlett's future with WWE is suddenly in serious doubt, with signs pointing to a potential exit by the end of this week. According to a new report from Fightful Select, neither Kross nor Scarlett were backstage for Monday Night Raw, and more importantly, they're not scheduled to appear on the show. A WWE higher-up reportedly confirmed that both of their current contracts are set to expire this weekend, and as of now, no new deals have been offered. What makes this situation more complicated is that the duo hasn't even been officially informed that their contracts are nearing expiration. This lack of communication has created internal uncertainty, leading many to question whether WWE has any concrete plans for the pair moving forward. If no agreements are reached in the coming days, Kross and Scarlett will officially become free agents, opening the door for potential offers from other promotions. There's also a possibility that Kross's WWE contract situation could be a work as well. We'll continue to track this situation as more updates emerge. Meanwhile, Karrion Kross was still on the mind of Sami Zayn during a backstage segment on Raw. In an interview segment earlier tonight, Zayn reflected on the conclusion of his trilogy with Kross, admitting that part of him still wanted to take the easy route and use the steel pipe Scarlett rolled toward him. "It would have felt good to hit him with that pipe," Zayn said. "Everything he did to me, it would have been the easy choice, but that's not why I'm here. My heart is still set on becoming world champion." The interview didn't last long. Moments later, Zayn was caught in the chaos of an ongoing backstage fight between Sheamus and Rusev. The two heavy hitters, who have been trading blows for weeks, crashed through the interview set, leaving Zayn in the crossfire. Raw general manager Adam Pearce later made it official. Next week it'll be Sami Zayn versus Rusev in a one-on-one match. What's your take on Kross and Scarlett's contract status? Should WWE re-sign them, or is it time for them to move on? Penta El Cero Miedo was in action this week against Grayson Waller after a backstage confrontation turned physical, leading to Adam Pearce putting them in a singles bout. The encounter began with drama at ringside as the New Day emerged and distracted the masked man enough for Waller to take control from the start. Penta wasn't rattled for long though, and the popular luchador quickly responded with a jumping knee as the WWE Universe rallied behind him until he got the win with a devastating Mexican destroyer. The New Day's involvement continued post-match though, as they checked on Waller after the bell rang. Penta snatched Wood's gigantic hat and mocked him by strutting around with it before using it as a weapon against the iconic tag team. Penta then hit a dive outside the ring to take them out, leaving the ringside area to a huge ovation as he looks to regain his momentum after not being involved in the two-night SummerSlam. The audience is clearly still behind him. The question now is a feud with the New Day next for Penta, and should WWE push him back into title contention soon? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The new women's tag team champions found themselves being interrupted by Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez after Charlotte Flair joked, "That might be my first you deserve it" chant from the WWE Universe. There was little time for Flair to joke around though, as an impromptu title match was arranged between the teams, with the former champions controlling the situation from the start as they tried to regain their titles that they lost at SummerSlam. The Queen was beaten down and isolated by the Judgment Day duo until she made a much-needed tag to Alexa Bliss, who helped to turn the tide of the match. Flair then returned to the match to give the champions even more spark as she hit a flipping clothesline and then a moonsault. Perez attempted a tope suicida, but she was intercepted by Bliss, who drove her down to the mat with an emphatic Sister Abigail, retaining the titles. The show featured a lot of SummerSlam fallout this week, and that led to several matches being set for next week as things spilled over, including Zayn vs. Rusev. Elsewhere, Adam Pearce booked a huge WWE Women's title match for next week as Naomi will defend her title against Io Sky, which adds some drama to Stephanie Vacquer's title shot at Clash in Paris. Natalya also challenged Becky Lynch to a match next week, which she accepted with a twist as Lynch wanted to face Maxine Dupree instead. Therefore, fans will see Lynch versus Dupree next week in Quebec. Tensions were high backstage this week as two heated rivalries continue to boil over, with Rhea Ripley confronting Io Sky once again, making it clear she still wants to score a win against her. While Sky has been friendly with Mommy over recent months, she took a serious turn here by confidently telling Ripley that she'll never be able to defeat her. Elsewhere, Lyra Valkyria crossed paths with her former tag team partner Bayley, who accidentally hit her at SummerSlam. Valkyria told her that she's done being caught up in the Bayley vortex, and she told her that while they're not friends, they're also not enemies, as she urged Bayley to just stay away from her. WWE has two easy women's matches to book there in the future, as Ripley vs. Sky and Bayley vs. Valkyria are both premium live event quality matches, with neither requiring a title to be involved, as the personal stakes and competitive history being more than enough to carry them. We are ending today with some shocking footage that emerged from SummerSlam, as a drunk fan was shown trying to get close to Triple H during the post-show, having broken through the barricade. Fortunately, security was on top of the situation and was quick to act, immediately stepping in as the fan was escorted back to the guardrail and away from the situation, with the security guard visibly furious with the situation.